Hey everyone, I'm back again to continue the Dreamlover saga. If you haven't seen the first videos in this series, you should definitely catch up on them by checking out the playlist. I'll flash it on the screen for you so you can take a look. And before I begin, I have to warn you that if you have not been to Moonrise Towers and finished the end of Act 2, then this will be a huge spoiler. The Dreamlover is heavily woven into the main story of the game, so it's kind of hard to avoid spoilers when talking about him, especially at this point in the game. With that warning extended, let's get on with it. When you take the fight to Ketheric Thorm in Moonrise Towers, there will be a series of fights. The first time you face Ketheric, he will run once you get him to a certain amount of HP, but something really wild happens in the cutscene right after. He basically summons a huge tentacle that breaks a hole in the tower itself. The Dreamlover will comment with this once the event is over.
That tentacle was colossal. How can such a thing be possible?
You'll then have to jump down the hole the tentacles sprang up from, and down below, the Dreamlover will tell you that you've actually landed in an Illithid colony.
This is an Illithid colony. This must be where they harvest the tadpoles. We're close to the source of the infections.
So, how many of you are expecting there to be a Mind Flayer colony beneath Moonrise Towers? Because I sure as hell was not. I mean, I guess I should have seen the signs, but it just completely took me off guard. So after making your way through the colony, you'll eventually find an elevator that you can ride down to the final showdown with Ketheric. Your tadpoles will squirm in anticipation as you approach the door, and then the Dreamlover announces that you've found the Absolute.
No longer a background murmur, the presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We've found it. The Absolute is behind this door.
Heading in, you'll come across the brains, no pun intended, behind the Absolute. 3 chosen from the dead 3 gods, Bane, Baal, and Mmogurl, who are actually controlling an Elder Brain with a Netherese crown of domination. Holy hell. Well, that certainly explains all of the strange elements that I couldn't explain from early access. The Dreamlover speaks up, shocked that they are actually in control of something as powerful as an Elder Brain.
An Elder Brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
You'll then be tasked with defeating Ketheric twice more before getting a rather huge scene with the Dreamlover. I wasn't expecting it at all, so it was definitely a nice reward for such a difficult boss battle. I'll play the whole scene for you and then talk about it after.
In death, the body is cooling, but energy radiates from the stone.
Remarkable. Truly. Now the picture comes together. The Absolute is neither god nor man. It is the Elder Brain you saw, held here by those 3 against its will. The crown it wears controls it, and these stones control the crown. It has been dominated. To master an Elder Brain, to subdue it, our enemies are formidable. A temporary reprieve, but a welcome one. With the brain on its way to the city, its influence here is weakened. The crown's markings suggest it was forged in Mmogurl, an ancient empire whose mastery over magic rivaled that of the gods. It is a crown of domination. The stones were taken from its crest. They are nether stones, imbued with the ability to control the wearer of the crown. The crown's Netherese magic must be the true source of the parasite's abilities. This must be what elevates their potential. And it must be the reason nobody could heal you. If the crown can do this to the parasites, I dare not imagine what it is doing to the brain.
Netherese? These chosen are powerful indeed to have such magic in their command.
One of them I know. Lord Enver Gortash. An arms dealer and a slaver. A worshipper of Bane, the god of tyranny. The other is a mystery to me. But the way she spoke, it's most likely she follows Baal, the god of murder. Ketheric was a follower of Mmogurl, which means the Absolute is a front for the gods of death, and our enemies are the chosen of the Dead Three. Bane, Baal, and Mmogurl. The tyrant, the assassin, and the necromancer. They are known to pick from their most devout followers a chosen, granting them incredible powers. Each one alone would be a formidable enemy. But working together and controlling an elder brain, I dare not imagine what they might achieve. We prepare for the fight of our lives, and the lives of everyone in Faerun. The army of the Absolute is marching on Baldur's Gate. Within the city, an elder brain brimming with power, ready to turn everyone within its reach into mind flayers. All it needs is an order. An order the Death God's chosen are on the cusp of giving. We must wrest control of the brain from the chosen before that happens. We must take their stones. Our chances of success are slim, but we must not fail. If we fail, everything ends. I will be your shield, but you must be the sword. And when the chance to strike comes, you must take it. For there may only be one chance.
So, upon removing the Netherstone from Ketheric's armor, a portal from the astral plane opens and the Dreamlover steps right out into your world, something I wasn't sure he could even do, because he seemed to be a prisoner there. Regardless of how he left, he seems to be impressed that we managed to take down Ketheric, who essentially died and came back as Mmogurl, being practically a god, if not actually a god. He further confirms the plot we mostly already know, but adds that your enemies must be powerful in order to actually pull off such a feat to subdue an elder brain. At this point, you can ask some more specific questions, although in the typical Dreamlover fashion, he doesn't really answer most of them. I mean, he answers, but not in full truths. I wanted to know how he was able to leave the astral prism, and he responded that it was only a temporary freedom, because the brain was on its way to the city and its strength no longer as powerful. I can't really buy this explanation, though, because if you think about it, he still remained in the prism even during Act 1, where we were a whole huge zone away from the Elder Brain, and technically the brain just left, so it should still be relatively close, right? All of this just confuses me more. I don't really understand how he came to be in the prism, nor how he can simply leave it when he pleases, but just doesn't. We know there is a power in the prism that helps to deter the Absolute's mind control, so perhaps his protection relies on proximity to whatever is in the prism that offers up this power? Well, he further tells us that the crown had Netherese markings, that it's a crown of domination, and the 3 Netherstones the Chosen were using to control it were taken from its crest. So this is why the tadpoles were protected by Netherese magic and were impossible to remove. And this is also what halts the Mind Flayer transformation as well until a time when the Chosen order it. He also suggests that if the crown is capable of evolving the parasites in such a way, that it might even be changing the brain itself, which is a terrifying thought. You can also ask if he knows anything about your enemies, and he'll say he's aware of Gortash, that he's a worshipper of Bane and a slaver. He's not as familiar with Orin, but suggests she might be a follower of Baal, and points out that Ketheric was a follower of Mmogurl, meaning your enemies are the chosen of the Dead Three. You can ask for clarification on the topic if you want to know more, but it doesn't give a huge amount of information. I asked, what do we do now? And he basically says we have to fight for the lives of everyone in Faerun, that we'll have to find a way to stop the Chosen Three and their pet Elder Brain to avoid everyone in Baldur's Gate from being turned into a Mind Flayer. In order to do that, he says we'll need to steal their Netherstones away from them, that our chances won't be good, but we at least have to try. He vows to continue to protect us, but says you must be his sword and take the chance when it comes to wrest control away from Orin and Gortest. So I did say the Chosen 3, but technically I guess it's like the Chosen 2 now, because we already got rid of 1. So damn, that's still a lot. Even though this was yet another in-person meeting with the Dream Lover, I feel like a lot of that was stolen by the insane show that just took place. That boss fight with Ketheric was not easy, and honestly, by the time he transformed into that weird avatar of Mmogurl, I had already used up just about every spell slot, and I was down to nothing. If it weren't for the Night Song and my Paladin Shadowheart, I don't think I would have beaten it. And then after all of the epicness of that fight, there's even more revelation as to what's been going on. A whole army controlled by an Elder Brain, controlled by the Dead 3. It's a lot to take in. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the part where there's a Mind Flayer colony beneath Moonrise Towers. Like, holy crap. It was just layer upon layer upon layer, like one big onion of story. Then the Dream Lover came through at the end, and it was just like taking that onion, cutting it, breading it, and then throwing it in the fryer. You know, a blooming onion. Okay, that was kind of stupid. But damn! And as to what to say about the Dream Lover's dialogue, it didn't feel exceptionally personal, you know, beside the fact that you're basically working together. So I guess I'm going to have to wait a bit more to see if this romance actually goes anywhere, but still. That whole finale for Act 2 was amazing. It trumps the heck out of the finale for Act 1, that's for sure. And I'm a little horrified, but mostly excited to see what's going to happen when we go after the remaining Chosen. And I'm also a little worried to see what the Dream Lover will do as well. He seems awfully interested in getting those Netherstones, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to try and take control for himself. But he might. I'm just going to continue trusting him for now and see where it goes. So don't forget to keep checking back for new videos in this series. I'm also working on one for Astarian's Romance as well, so take a look at that playlist here if you're interested. I'll put it up on the screen. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, as there is going to be a huge slew of new BG3 content coming out over the next few months, possibly years. I mean, there's a lot. Thanks to my Patreons for the support, and if you'd like to help support the channel too and get access to the private Discord and a whole other chunk of content on Patreon, then head over and make a pledge. I'll see you guys later.